The 2026 NBA playoffs was nothing short of complete chaos. From electrifying game winners
Off the heel,
to controversial calls
Where the contact is. Oh, that wasn't a foul, man.
to breathtaking posters
oh my goodness!
to unbelievable 3-1 comebacks
The Philadelphia 76ers have come back from 3-1 down.
to an absolute frenzy going on outside the arena.
Knicks going to the finals. It's like Jesus returning.
We gotta replace our Statue of Liberty with Jalen Brunson's face.
What we watched this NBA postseason was something that looked like it was straight out of a movie. Let's jump right into what exactly happened these NBA playoffs. We start in the play-in tournament, where the Trailblazers, Suns, Sixers, and Magic snuck their way into the playoffs in one of the greatest play-in tournaments we've seen to date. In the West, Danny Avdija put in work with a 41-point performance right off the bat versus the Suns. His efforts sent the Trailblazers back to the playoffs for the first time since 2021. Steph Curry put up a barrage of threes in a narrow win over the Clippers, putting in 35 points. Kawhi Leonard struggled in that second half, scoring just one field goal as his Clippers were sent home, setting up a Warriors vs Suns matchup to determine the 8th seed. And it was the Suns that led for nearly the whole game. The Warriors were just outmatched in every single way. And at the time, we didn't know if we'd ever see Curry, Draymond, and Steve Kerr play for the same team ever again. We move on to the East, where the Hornets and Heat had us on the edge of our seats in an overtime thriller. Bam Adebayo got injured early as LaMelo Ball's controversial grab of his leg caused him not to have any opportunity to brace his fall. Adebayo would not return to the game, in which would be the end of his season, because LaMelo Ball would clutch up for Charlotte with a game-winning layup with just seconds left on the clock. We move on to Sixers vs Magic, where Tyrese Maxey led the way with a 31-point performance to give the Sixers the 7th seed in the playoffs, making the Hornets vs Magic the game to decide the 8th seed. And it was an absolute blowout by Paolo Banchero and the Magic. It was bad. And when I say bad, I mean very bad. And there we have it. The 2026 NBA playoffs are set. Magic Pistons, Sixers Celtics, Suns Thunder, and Spurs Blazers. And in the West, let's just say some teams exceeded expectations.
Lakers going home very early, at the most 5, and I anticipate they might get swept.
Smart gets it inside to James, falling away another baseline shot is good.
Late in that first, James will pull up with LeBron, just gonna back him in. And the spin, and the fadeaway.
Thompson. LeBron now with 3, with 2. James off balance. Oh, what an angle! Him and his team offensively. Smart with a perfect delivery. Second body, Hachimura, and he turns it over. Get it ahead for James. Slaps it over to Kennard. Lakers are down by 3 for the tie. It's good. LeBron James is money. It's off the mark, and the Lakers win it. A commanding 3-0 lead in the series.
With a 3-0 lead and a lot of quiet haters, LeBron James and the Lakers were in cruise control. Luke Kennard, Rui Hachimura, and others had stepped up for the Lakers as well. Kevin Durant made a shocking announcement right before Game 1, stating that he would be out for Game 1 with a right knee injury. But he returned in Game 2, just to be out again for the rest of the series. But the Rockets put up a fight in the next 2 games, winning Games 4 and 5 to give the Lakers a bit of a scare. The improbable 3-0 comeback was obviously going to be difficult, but there were some fans that believed that it could happen, and started talking about what would happen to LeBron's legacy if it did. But in Game 6, the Lakers stopped that speculation real quick with a 20-point blowout in Houston to move on to the second round matchup against the OKC Thunder, who had swept the Suns without even breaking a sweat. The reigning MVP at that time, soon to be 2-time MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, shredded the Suns to pieces, averaging almost 34 points per game in the 4-game series. Speaking of a quick series, Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs made quick work of the Blazers in a gentleman's sweep. The most exciting game of the series, though, was Game 2. Victor Wembanyama had to leave the game early due to a concussion. Scoot Henderson put the team on his back with 31 points in that game. But if you thought the Blazers had a chance at that time, well, you would be wrong, as the Spurs would win every game for the rest of the series. Wemby would miss Game 3 but came back strong in Game 4 with 27 points and 7 blocks and added another 6 blocks in Game 5. The last series in the West was Wolves vs Nuggets, which surprised a lot of people, including me. Game 1 was a perfect opener for the series, with a thrilling Nuggets 116-105 win. Edwards' shot wasn't as sharp as usual, but Jokic definitely was on his game, with a 25-point triple-double. Murray pitched in 30 points, and 16 of 16 from the free throw line. Game 2 also was a close game, and Edwards came back with a much better performance with 30 points. And it was this game that Jokic started to struggle with a defensive Rudy Gobert. It was a team effort from Minnesota, and it wasn't just Ant doing all the work. Denver couldn't stop it, and it was safe to say that Jaden McDaniels made that very, very clear.
Go out for Jokic, Jamal, all the bad defenders, Tim Hardaway, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, the whole team. Like, just go at them.
They're all bad defenders.
Yeah, they're all bad defenders.
Around this morning, however, there was still enough discomfort that Denver didn't want to risk it tonight. So the plan as of now is to regroup tomorrow, map out next steps as the Timberwolves.
Everyone had to say about his comments about them on both.
Denver to their worst field goal percentage of the season. The Nuggets tonight shot 34%.
Johnson running the floor and somehow got that to go. And Edwards is hurt. Edwards holding on to his left leg, and he's looking over the bench, and Minnesota calls timeout. Osumu fires away, connects on another three. Osumu, the floater's up, it's good! The 24. Osumu puts up a three. Bang! Osumu does it again! A masterpiece! An inspiring victory for the Minnesota Timberwolves in a contest that will be forever known as the Oust game. Jokic and McDaniels square up. Players trying to break it up. There's still 1.3 remaining.
One game was all the Wolves needed to get a huge amount of momentum, as they won the next 2 games to put them up 3-1 in the series. The most important part of their game wasn't their offense, but it was their defense on Nikola Jokic. Oust came out of nowhere and dropped 43 points off the bench. With Edwards out, this was the Nuggets' chance to get back in the series, and they sort of did, with a Game 5 victory back at home. But that spark of hope would fade, as Jaden McDaniels backed up his talk with 32 points in a closeout Game 6 without Anthony Edwards, setting up a second-round series against the San Antonio Spurs. Now the East, however, was way more interesting than the West, because out of the 4 series in the Eastern Conference, 3 of them went to Game 7. In Game 1, the duo of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum cooked the Sixers by 31, as Brown had 26 and Tatum 25. Embiid didn't play in Game 1, and his absence couldn't have been any more clear in Game 1.
Players who have played 10+ minutes in this game. Pritchard step back, won't go.
We Want Boston chants flooded the TD Garden, as the mocking from the Celtics fans had already started early in the series. Game 2 was different though, as the Sixers responded with a huge win on the road, with Maxey and the rookie VJ Edgecombe combining for 59 points in the win. But the Celtics won Game 3 and 4 in 2 impressive wins on the road. But to be honest with you, it was never really a road game, was it?
Has gotten his average in this series, 25.
The Celtics fans piled into the Sixers arena and trolled the Sixers fans even more with more We Want Boston chants in Game 4, as the Sixers looked down and out even with Embiid back in the lineup.
Superior athleticism, but Embiid, all that he's been through, he made sure that those legs were protected.
Embiid going with the free throws, time for his continued push-ups. And you see Kyle Lowry who...
We Want Boston chants. Again, but this time not from the trolling Celtics fans, this time from the Sixers fans in Game 6 at Philly. Game 6? You might be wondering? Yes, Game 6. The Sixers came all the way back to tie the series at 3 apiece after being down 3-1. Embiid's return and increase in play had made a difference in the series and kept the Sixers back in it, scoring 33 points in Game 5, and in Game 6, the entire starting lineup pitched in, combining for 100 points with the bench only scoring 6. The Sixers starting lineup scored 94% of their total points. A major injury was that of Jason Tatum, as he went down with a calf injury related to his Achilles injury that he had been dealing with for a full year now. But his injury came when the Sixers were already up double digits and completely dominating the game. Game 7 was a total breakdown for the Celtics, as the Sixers led for almost the entire game. Joel Embiid, Maxey, and Edgecombe combined for 87 points in the win, and officially came back from down 3-1. They would then play the Knicks in the second round. Speaking of the Knicks, there were some very interesting things going down in New York.
Hart with the rebound, no timeout called. Get it up for Bridges, put it up for the win, and he missed it. Atlanta comes all the way back from 14 down.
Brunson with the ball. Brunson makes his move. Brunson on the baseline. Hart's got to track it down. Dug it in by Kuminga, and it's over.
With the Knicks down 2-1 versus the Hawks, they clearly needed to step up their game if they wanted to come back. But what fueled the Knicks' run wasn't all because of their star power. It was their electric fan base cheering them on.
He pitched it. Here's Towns. Inside.
When we win the tip, we knock it over the Eiffel Tower.
Defending on Towns. Karlansky going left. And the Knicks win by 16. As the Knicks have evened it at 2 games apiece.
Yo, KD, don't you wish you came in there?
Throws inside.
For 2. Oh, to Brunson for 2. Robinson, a dominant performance to take a 3-2 series lead.
The Knicks go to the final. It's like Jesus returning.
And Anobi tries again, puts it in. Oh, gee. That's including the 20 points per game. McBride hits a 3. Keeps pouring it on. Brunson throws it up, and Bridges throws it down. The Knicks will advance to the second round for the 4th straight year, courtesy of one of the most dominant performances in NBA playoff history. In a game they led by as many as 61, they win by 51.
Now, if you thought the Pistons would rout the Magic in 4 or 5 games, you'd be dead wrong, because this was completely a different Magic team than we saw during the regular season. Despite Cade Cunningham's 39-point game, the Magic took a commanding 1-0 lead versus the #1 seed in the East. And although the Pistons tied up the series 1-1, the Magic responded with 2 wins at home to give them a 3-1 lead. The Pistons looked terrible and lacked the physicality and toughness that they had all season. And a big part of this was due to the poor play of Jalen Duren. But the Pistons weren't done yet, as they showed why they were the #1 seed.
Detroit lead. Cunningham gets inside, an easy floater's good.
This is a big 1 minute for both teams.
Harris for 3. Tobias Harris. Cunningham the crossover. Cunningham the finish. Jenkins to Harris. Harris corner 3. It's good. Overcoming a 3-1 deficit to keep their dream season alive. 3 consecutive wins, and they're headed to the second round.
A 22-point blowout at home for the Pistons, with Tobias Harris and Cade Cunningham combining for 62 points. Banchero did all he could with 38 points, but he could only do so much at the end of the day. Now the last game is the Cavs versus Raptors. The Cavs came into the playoffs with high expectations due to the acquiring of James Harden earlier in the season. And for the Cavs, the first 2 games went just as planned, going up 2-0 in the series. But the Raptors won 2 games of their own back at home, following by a Cavs Game 5 win. During that Game 5, Brandon Ingram went down with a right heel injury and he couldn't finish the game. The Raptors had just lost their key player and now they were down 3-1, but the Raptors didn't quit. And that led to one of the best finishes of these NBA playoffs.
Barnes over to Sand. Sand double clutch. Rims out. 5 more minutes. Force before foul. Schroeder got it ahead to Mobley. Out of bounds. Big call. Raptors ball. Is looking to force a game 7. Down 1. Barnes on the move.
absolute prayer by RJ Barrett to save the Raptors season gets answered to send the series to Game 7. After the game, fans couldn't help but compare this shot to a familiar shot made by Kawhi Leonard, as both shots bounced a couple of times before going in. But the joy of extending their season would be short-lived, however, because just 2 days later, the Cavs would win in Game 7 to send the Raptors home. And with that, the first round of the 2026 NBA playoffs were complete.
We in Philly right now. We're not in New York. We're in Philly right now. It looks like New York because you got a bunch of Knicks fans, but we in Philly right now. It looks like we're in New York, but we're not in New York. We're in Philly.
Where are we? We're in Madison Square Garden East.
Yep, that's right. The Knicks fans are back, and more rampant than before. In fact, the Knicks fans were going wild for the entire series, because the Knicks swept the Sixers and barely broke a sweat. The Sixers were simply not good enough, and that was highlighted by a near 40-point blowout in Game 1. Games 3 and 4 were in Philly, and the Knicks fans certainly understood the assignment. So much so that Embiid himself asked Sixers fans to buy tickets to their games to support.
I just have a message for our fans. Last time we played the Knicks, it felt like this was Madison Square Garden East. So we're gonna need the support. Don't sell your tickets.
But that didn't help whatsoever. The Xfinity Mobile Arena was flooded with Knicks fans, and it barely even felt like it was a home game for Philly. In Game 4, the Knicks slammed the door shut on the Sixers with another blowout victory, this time by 30 points. The Knicks would be back in the Eastern Conference Finals for the second time in 3 years, and this time, they hoped to make it to the finals. Meanwhile in the West, some major controversy was going on. It was clear that there was a significant amount of fouls getting called in favor of the Thunder, especially SGA. The Thunder were flopping all over the place, and the Lakers were getting frustrated. The Thunder were clearly selling the contact, and the refs were buying it every time. And it wasn't just the Lakers that were getting upset. It was pretty much the entire NBA community that weren't Thunder fans, because we've been seeing this foul baiting dating back all the way back to last season, and somehow the refs had let it get even worse. This year, the whole team was in on the act. It wasn't just SGA flopping, it was everyone. The Thunder would proceed to sweep the Lakers in a series that just might have been LeBron's last. And as the Thunder kept on winning, more hate came their way. With 2 sweeps already in the second round, it's time that we get on to some more interesting series. Game 1 of Wolves vs Spurs is all that we could have asked for. The Wolves got some exciting news as Anthony Edwards would make a speedy recovery from his hyperextended knee injury. Although he was on a minute restriction, his impact was still great as he put up 18 points in 25 minutes on a rather efficient 8 of 13 shooting. The Spurs tried to claw their way back into the game late in the fourth, but their efforts were too late, as Julian Champagnie misses the most wide open shot you can possibly ask for. But the Spurs would bounce back quickly in Game 2, routing the Wolves by almost 40 points, and proceeding to win Game 3 as well. Wemby and Ant dueled all game, with Wemby pouring in 39 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 blocks, and Edwards put in 32 points and 14 rebounds. In Game 4 is where things got chippy, as Victor Wembanyama gives Naz Reid one of the most vicious elbows you'll ever see. Wemby was obviously ejected from the game, and with that, the Wolves took over.
Guys are on 5. Free for 3. Got them all! Get it back to Edwards for 3, and the lead! Anthony Edwards gives Minnesota the lead! Rebound Edwards! Third try is the charm! Game 4 to the Timberwolves! Series tied at 2 apiece!
With Ant leading the way with 36 points, the Wolves tied the series heading back to San Antonio. But with the series tied, it was the Spurs who showed the Wolves what real championship contenders were made of.
Wembanyama to the outside, ball in his hands alive.
Really cannot afford. Lob and jam, Wemby. And the floaters. Oh, Castle in the sky. San Antonio Spurs are headed to the Western Conference Finals.
2 blowout victories for San Antonio, as the Wolves were completely out of answers for Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. And Ant knew it too, going over to the Spurs bench to congratulate them with over 8 whole minutes left in the game. The Spurs would move on to the conference finals for their first time since 2017. Now, the last series of the conference finals was Cavs vs. Pistons, and in this series, you really needed to put an extra effort in if you wanted to move on. Now, I say this because both the Cavs and Pistons both just came off series that went to 7 games, and this series was also 7 games as well. Now, for the Pistons, going to 7 games against a number 8 seed isn't really a good sign for a number 1 seed, and in Game 7 versus the Cavs, they had officially met their match.
28-22 Cleveland. 2 seconds, 1 second. Mitchell backs it in. A spider bite at the end of the quarter.
6. The Cavaliers not afraid of any of the matchups.
Oh, Mobley! Big finish. Oh, Jared Allen with the crate. Donovan Mitchell, chef's kiss to Cleveland. A blowout Game 7 win in Detroit to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals.
The Pistons season would come to a screeching halt as they had completely ran out of gas, getting blown out by nearly 30. You can't ask for a better conference finals matchup than a number 1 seed versus a number 2 seed. Game 1 most certainly didn't disappoint, and when it came down to the wire, it was Wemby who came in the clutch.
Shot clock at 8. Wembanyama turns, spins, shoots, and has got numbers hungry down behind the plate. 5 on 4. Wemby's gonna pull a deep 3.
Oh my goodness!
Regular or postseason for Wembanyama. 45, and he's still going strong. Harper guarded by Lynn Caruso. Wemby beat him inside, threw it down with a foul. Lobbing. Wembanyama! He's unbelievable, folks. He's unbelievable.
A double OT thriller in one of the best playoff games we've ever seen. Wemby dropped 41 points on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder. And it was a little personal, as Wemby had to watch Shai get crowned league MVP over him right before the game started. The Thunder proceeded to win games 2 and 3, which were must-needed wins, especially game 3, which was on the road. But game 2 specifically wouldn't really be remembered by the fact that the Thunder won. It would be remembered by this absolute poster.
Stephon Castle! Welcome to this earth!
Followed by a Spurs 21-point win in Game 4. The Thunder would win Game 5, but it wouldn't be an OKC win without more controversy. Fans and media were disgusted with the flopping and foul calling from the refs, and they let them know about it.
The amount of times that I watch SGA look for a call has made me think differently about him. I want us to really give hard thought to those people in that conversation for top 10, top 15 greatest of all time. Do they exhibit mannerisms like this, where they look for bailouts every single time?
Despite all the chatter, the Spurs still had 2 games to win if they wanted to go to the NBA Finals. They got one with ease with a 27-point victory at home in Game 6. Everything was on the line. 1 game for 1 trip to the NBA Finals.
Moves to the basket. Open waiting. Wembanyama throws it on his head. Wemby pulling from 3. Castle Hartenstein overplay. Took it away. They want the double dribble. Not called. Hartenstein blocked by Cornet. Oh, Cornet goes up and stops it. 8 seconds left. Fox has it. Ahead to Vassell, who goes in for the dunk. And the San Antonio Spurs have done it.
The Spurs would defeat the Thunder as a collective group, while it was the complete opposite for the Thunder. SGA would put up 35 points, but it was the rare occasion where he had little to no help from his supporting cast. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, they were set up for failure from the very beginning. I say that because they had just come off back-to-back Game 7s in the previous 2 rounds, while the Knicks had just swept the Sixers and had a full week of rest. Fatigue was definitely going to play a factor in the series, but for most of Game 1, it didn't, because the Cavs built up a 22-point lead against the Knicks with just 8 minutes left to play. But the Knicks had an answer.
And then the Cavs swooped in and made the deal as Brunson Brunson drives on Wade. Scoop layup is good. Beautiful shot from Brunson. Well coached, but still trailing. Brunson banks it home again. Fakes, drive, gets inside, pull-up jumper, got it! Jalen Brunson has come alive, and the Knicks are back with Brunson drives. Pulls up, shot is up, bank shot is good!
Out if he scores.
Brunson, three-pointer, puts it in! Captain Clutch has come alive! Brunson with Harden on him, Brunson on the drive, the floater, bank shot, it's good! Drives, gets past Harden, gets inside, the floater's up and good! Knicks take game one behind the brilliance of Jalen Brunson.
The Knicks stormed back from their 22-point deficit to stun the Cavs in an OT thriller, going on a 44-11 run. It marked the biggest fourth-quarter comeback in franchise history, and from there, the rest was history. The Cavs, from that point on, looked hopeless for the rest of the series, as they proceeded to get swept and never really looked like they had a chance. The Knicks would make it to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999. It all came down to this. Would it be the Knicks, who hadn't won a championship in over 50 years, hungry, impatient, and a passionate fan base? Or would it be the young and up-and-coming Spurs, who were led by a 7'5" alien, bursting out of the scenes in his first playoff run in his career, who said, "Forget having experience, we want a championship now." And for the first two games, it would be the Knicks who came roaring out of the gates. At the midway point during the third quarter, it looked like the Knicks weren't up to the task. They looked rushed and out of sorts, but they buckled down and found a way to come back from down double digits to end up winning by double digits. In game 2, it was some mistakes for the Spurs. A crucial turnover in crunch time would result in them going down 0-2 in the series. And to make matters worse, those two losses were at home, meaning they'd have to come back to the Garden for the next two. It was the Knicks that were 100% in control of the series. The Spurs would delay the inevitable for one game with a Game 3 victory, but it was Game 4 where their fate was sealed.
Fox to Harper. Harper, three-pointer. That's good. Another three. That's the 13th three-pointer. But you're right. Not in the finals. You'd expect Harper turns, banks it home. Brunson tries a three-pointer. That's good. Mitch Johnson needs a timeout. Corner three. Anunoby. Bang! 4-point game. Shot clock at 5. Brunson fires up a three. Puts it in. 1-point game. Brunson gets it, fires up a three. Shot no good, the tip, it's gone! It's gone! It's gone! With 1.2 remaining, Knicks take the lead! OG Anunoby, and it's 107-106!
Up 29 and looking like the series would be tied going back to San Antonio, the Spurs have the biggest collapse in NBA Finals history and blew it. Everything fell apart. And with this, they were down 3-1 in the series. Being down 3-1 can do two things. It could either motivate you like never before and make you hungry for a win now that your backs were against the wall. Or it could do what it does to most teams, leave them hopeless and defeated. And that was the case here. The Knicks ran into San Antonio and finished the job. And guess what? They came back from another double-digit deficit. In fact, every single win by the Knicks, they came back from down double digits. The Knicks were champions, and the 53-year drought was over. And there you have it. The 2026 NBA playoffs have come to a close. What a season it's been. It was definitely a roller coaster. Lots of ups and lots of downs. And as NBA fans, I think we can all agree that we can't wait to do it all over again next season.